I've done it in a private setting, but never in this way. Bear with me as I do this for the first time in a video. It's super exciting. I work with the spirit world. I hear messages. I do believe in God. Although I don't prescribe to a particular religion, I do come from a Christian background, and I still tend to err towards some Christian principles and philosophy, but I also have evolved over the last 20 years to embrace Buddhism as a practice as well. Because of that, a lot of my clients tend to be very open in terms of their spirituality, in terms of their belief. What you'll find is that there are beautiful threads of connection between so many spiritual teachings. And when you're willing to let down some of the walls that religion can bring to us, we're able to find some really beautiful, clear guidance. I'm going to go ahead and get us started, and I'm going to share some messages that have been coming to me in prayer and meditation over the last couple of weeks. To start the year, I was actually starting the year bedridden. I came down with a parasites, so to say, and from a shamanic perspective, I was definitely confronting parasites on every level of the body. So on the energetic, the emotional, the spiritual, and the physiological level, I was combating parasites. There will definitely be more about my journey with parasites. So much wisdom has been shared with me from the spirit world that I think will be quite helpful for the collective. But for today's purposes, I'm going to stick to messages from the spirit world, from our beautiful helpers, our angels, and from my conversations with God. The first thing that I'm going to tell you is that I'm going to really focus on the first 6 months of the year, maybe 6 to 8 months. And there's a reason for that. I have been meditating quite a bit on free will. And free will is shifting. As we shift in our vibrational awareness and our consciousness, in knowing our power, knowing the power of our spoken word, we're starting to understand that we can literally change our circumstances at the drop of a dime almost, with our thoughts, with our prayers, with our written and spoken word. When we know that, we can change our course, but we also have the power, fortunately and unfortunately, to change the course of others. It gets a little tricky with free will, which thus makes predictions a little tricky, but predictions can be made with pretty good accuracy. The way that I want to explain this year and predictions is through the game of life. And there's also a really, really beautiful book called The Game of Life and How We Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn. I believe it was written in the 1920s. Excellent book. If you haven't read it, I highly encourage. But this last week, I was feeling very guided to play the game of life with my children. Sat down with my children and we had a really good time playing the game of life. Now, if you've ever played the game of life, there are a few pathways that you get a choice. You get a yes or no, and you can wind out in another direction. But also in the game of life, once you land on a chosen path, sometimes it might be a while before you hit another set of choices where you can move in different directions. Our game of life, right, the one that we're currently experiencing in this 3D, 4D reality, is very much like that. That's why free will and prophecy, they're kind of colliding in this moment in time, which is really fascinating for a lot of souls who have chosen to be here during this time. We are literally at the cross section between free will and prophecy. A lot of what we're about to experience has been prophesied in the Christian Bibles and other texts as well. Mayan texts, Hindu texts, many different spiritual and religious texts have actually prophesied exactly this moment that we're in. According to prophecies, it can look really dire what's to come in this year. However, when I've been speaking with Spirit, the message that's been coming to me has been to keep your eyes on the road ahead of you. Keep your eyes on where you are heading. Don't look around you, right? Because there might be some things around you this year that look a bit scary, but they're not actually affecting you. And that's the key here, to you understanding your reality, the path that you're on, and what's ahead of you. Now, because we're empathic, sensitive humans, we tend to be concerned about others, which is exactly as we should be. However, you have a great deal of power to pray for, to call on help for others when they're suffering, but it's very important that you continue moving forward on your path. Do not allow what you see around you to suck you in. It's almost going to be like like a potential negativity vortex or black hole. You turn, you divert your attention, you're going to get sucked into a lot of negativity, fear, scarcity, and you don't want that. What you're going to do is you're going to have a really clear plan for what it is that you want this year. This is outside of prediction though, because this is where the creator aspect of you comes in. This is where the free will aspect of you comes in. On the outside world, there are going to be some things that have been prophesied, like war. I kept hearing the word famine, right? Disease, all the things that we can think of that would scare us for our collective, they're going to be happening, but they don't have to be a part of your reality, right? They can be on the periphery. You can be healthy. You can be prosperous and abundant. You can stay with your family, right? Your business can succeed, but you're going to want to keep moving forward and you're going to want to have a plan. Very important for you to write down your plan. Write down your plan for your family. Write down your plan for your life. Write down your plan for your business. Dream up what would you like the year to look like. Because it's a collision of free will and prophecy, it may not be exactly as you want, but you do have some wiggle room to co-create with the conditions that are also being created by others around you. When others are turning and getting sucked into the vortex of fear, we will see more of that. It's important for you to do your part to not get sucked into the vortex of fear. Me saying that to you on the camera, I understand that even discussion about fear can create fear, but there's no other words around it other than the word power. This year, you're being very encouraged to tap into your power, act in your power, own your power, and don't fear your power, right? Come from a heart-centered place, use discernment, think about what, if I could do anything, if I could create anything, what would that be? Now, you might feel yourself immediately approaching limiting thoughts. And we've been doing a lot of work as a collective to move outside of limiting thoughts the last several years, right? So when you hear those, if they're still whispering in your mind, limiting thoughts, when you think about, if I could have anything, I would start this business, I would take my family on this trip, we would move to this place, but I don't have enough money, I don't have the means, I don't have the job. When those limiting thoughts and beliefs that appear to be a reality start to come up, I'm going to encourage you to push through those and allow yourself to dream it and write it anyway, right? Dream it and write it anyway. Then we work backwards from that point and we do our part, but we also allow for the divine to assist us in manifesting what we thought was not possible. Another big message of the year, which is on the brighter side, is that this is going to be a year of a lot of miracles. A lot of problems are going to be solved and you're not going to understand how they could be solved. There's going to be miraculous resolution of issues where you thought, I have no idea how this could be resolved. There's going to be miraculous healings. I'm hearing that there's going to be health conditions that literally just dissolve. They just dissolve. We wake up and we're healed. You might be connected to certain people who can support you in your healing process. There are also going to be opportunities for you to receive a boost in your profession, in your finances, in your sense of self, right? I was hearing the word boost. So there are some really bright sides to the year, but there is going to be some shadowy stuff, and that's what happens. Think of it like a collective, energetic surgery procedure. There have been some sore spots in our world, some systems that needed to be revised, some stories that needed to be rewritten, some realities that needed to be recreated, and this is how it's going to happen. It's going to need to happen under destruction. Like with cancer and chemo, the chemo goes in, it destroys the cancer. There is some collateral damage to the surrounding organs. However, the body becomes free, and then the body has a chance to begin to rebuild and become healthy again and vital. That's what's going to happen for our world. Trust that. As you are seeing in your periphery what looks like destruction and chaos, understand that that destruction and chaos is very much like the chemo and radiation process, where it goes in for an intention to destroy what is destructive, right? Cancer cells are destructive, so chemo and radiation are also destructive. What's happening in our world, there's going to be some big shifts, and there are some energies and some things, placements, etc., inside of our reality that needs to be destroyed. And it's not going to look pretty when it happens, but afterward, we're going to have an incredible opportunity to rebuild together as a collective. And through the center of it, if you can keep on your own path, you're going to be okay. All right. I'm going to close it out here. But if you have any questions, or if you want to book a personal reading with me for the 2024 year to help you to chart out your path forward, to help you to work through some of those limiting beliefs that are getting in your way of even thinking clearly, I completely understand, and I'm here to guide you with the help of your angels. Please feel free to book a 2024 look ahead session. I'm going to leave a link down below. Also, you can check out my website. I have some awesome workbooks that I'm going to be continually releasing throughout this year. And I'm excited to post more. It's a new year. I'm feeling healthy finally. And I'm excited to step into this digital world with you. Thank you so much for watching. And let me know if you need anything. Athena.